here's what I did think. This is why you just can't jump out here today and say, yeah, he did it.
Yes.
When someone comes with an accusation.
Which I hope for more people than not, they would take it and, again, take everything at face value. There's a lot of times that there's things that happen and everybody calls me, oh, yeah, this is what happened. Let me see everything. Let's wait. Because, again, you could see 2 minutes of a video and go, oh, see, that's what happened. Well, what happened before? What happened after?
Right.
What led up to it?
Right.
And for me, again, most of the time when something like this happens, I'm always like, ooh, let me.
Well, look, so you brought video. When it comes to Puff, that video, that was case closed.
Yes.
That was just case closed for me in terms of that. When you're talking about everything else that they say that he's done, I want to still see what the government has.
Yeah.
I only can assume that it must be worth something because they won't let this man out of jail. If you've had judges say, no, you're not going home, that I can only assume that the government has something.
That you did more above and beyond.
That video.
Yes.
Because that video isn't what's keeping him in jail right now, and they won't take your $50 million.
Yes. Or the house, or passports, or anything where the other dude from Abercrombie and Fitch is out.
Right.
Living regular life.
So that was the thing that I thought first. See, that's why you just can't jump out and just say that this happened when someone comes saying that this happened to me. And I think that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yes.
It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, but
we've gotten so far from that now in 2024. I'm afraid to see where it's going to go beyond today.
Because if you're famous or your story tickles the fancy or the hearts of anybody, then they automatically go with, oh yeah, they definitely did it. And no, it's not always the rich and famous are just abusing and taking advantage of people. Again, there's quite a few stories where people have said, I've been essayed by such and such, but you stayed at work for 4 more years. You went on trips with this person. Like I don't understand, because you always have an option to quit. And if you stayed, then it, for me, is a problem. If you didn't report it right away, then it makes it harder for me to go, okay.
Well, you're seeing that now, because we would be remiss if we didn't bring it up because it's in the news. The Jay-Z.
Yes.
With this young lady.
Yeah.
Have you seen the latest?
I've heard his reply back about it. Like, I'm not giving y'all no money. If you thought this was a money grab, the wrong one.
So CNN did an interview with her and kept her in the shadows because she didn't want her identity revealed, which is another problem for me. But she went on to tell the story about how everything played out, and they found inconsistencies in the story.
Yes.
So when they called her, they kind of point these things out.
No, she didn't want to talk about it.
She said, hey, look, all I can remember is what I said, and that's what's true to me. Like, she talked about a band members being at the VMAs. This band that said, we were on tour. We weren't even there.
Yes.
She talks about her father. And I'm sorry, and we're speaking about this as if you guys know what we're talking about, which I'm assuming. There was a young lady that came out. Her lawyer had already tried to sue Puff, saying that he had essayed her. Then there was supposed to be a celebrity A and B. Yes. Well, after they tried to sit down with Jay-Z and say, hey, we want to just have a confidential meeting where we discuss some things. We're not asking for any money, which is exactly what that means is going to be for, because it's a civil case. Jay-Z put his letter out after they revealed his name. And now this is where we are now, because Jay-Z says he didn't do it.
Make it a criminal case is what he said.
And he said, if it's that way, then let's go.
Yeah.
So her father, who she said picked her up. And now keep in mind, she was 13 years old at the time of all of this.
But she was at an after party.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. At 13.
Which there's proof and video of actually. There was no after party at a house. Yeah. They were all after partying at a club.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's the fact that whoever this friend is drove her 5 hours and just dropped her off here.
Yeah. And then
a
left her.
13-year-old.
Yeah, come on.
This person is dead now, so you can't ask this question. But here's the icing on the cake, and you'll get this completely because you're a dad. When she says when her dad came to get her, he didn't ask her any questions. They didn't talk about anything. He just drove her home.
5 hours later. 5 hours away, huh?
When CNN reached out to her father, he said, look, I've been going through a lot, but I don't remember any of that happening. He said, I would like to think that I wouldn't forget. He said, but I cannot recall.
Picking my 13-year-old daughter up who was disheveled because something traumatic had happened, and I'm just going to be like, oh, where were you at last night? Mm-hmm. Oh, why are you dressed because she had to be dressed in some type of adult clothing that you didn't say, well, my 13-year-old daughter is dressed in some provocative clothing.
Yeah.
Too grown for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning the next day, and I didn't know she was gone, and I'm just picking you up. Come on.
The attorney that brought this against Puff and Jay-Z is now saying, well, she was vetted through another law firm who brought her over to us. We ask her questions too.
Yeah.
And she's been going through all these different health issues because of the stress of this, but she's willing to take a polygraph. So I think slowly but surely we're going to start to see them try to move away from this case.
Yes.
Because Jay-Z's foot is about to be on their necks.
Yeah.
But I was bringing that up to go back to where we started with this, with Crystal Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
When that, and you're right, I'm with you. I remember all of the news stories they were doing because I believe that area of North Carolina where Duke is not the greatest area in terms of economic.
The triangle, it's in the like the triangle, and
like I think there's a lot of lower economic people back then, black folks in that area. That
it's like USC. The same,
yes,
where the school is perfect, but if you go a couple blocks this way or that way, it's
you could, because they were really trying to play up that angle of rich versus poor, black versus white,
because it was Duke,
right.
These privileged lacrosse 100%. Players, so
and they were. I remember people out there with the picket signs and everything, and
which is that rush to judgment because it sounded sensational. And that's what, like when the Jay-Z first came out, oh my God, Jay and Puffy, all these billionaire dudes are doing this to people. And I was like, they're two different people. They're two different people. They move differently. They might be similar, but they move differently.
I think people always want to assume that people on that level are up to something.
Yeah.
I think it's a reason.
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate. It's a reason why people believe that stuff.
They want to, because again, think of anybody who is achieved any level. We always want to crab in the barrel, bring them 100%. Back down. They got to have something wrong with them. They did something. They're in the Illuminati.
Just somebody did. I'm not there because I didn't have someone who propelled me there.
Yeah.